Hi everyone, this is Morgan, and in this video I'll walk you through how I'd like you to set up a Lightroom catalog. There are many ways to use Lightroom. This is just the method that works for me, and I think it makes problem solving easy if something goes wrong with Lightroom. I'm going to start by doing something I don't typically do and launching Lightroom from the dock. I am specifically having you make a catalog in Lightroom Classic. There's a cloud-based Lightroom as well. I keep multiple catalogs, so I do not typically open Lightroom from the dock. I launch my catalog specifically. So this is tastefully named my coronavirus catalog. I already have it locked and loaded up here. Normally, to open a specific catalog, I'm going to close out of this, and I'll show you where I keep it. I'm going to set up the next catalog that I build with you here on an external hard drive. I typically have Lightroom catalogs on external hard drives just so I can work on multiple computers. I'm going to launch it by finding this LRCat file, coronavirus 2020, double-clicking it, and launching from there. And that's just because at any given time, I might be working off of 2 or 3 different catalogs. So I like to just open Lightroom by catalog. I'll show you how to build a catalog. Again, this is just the way I like to set it up. I'm going to go to the File dropdown and say New Catalog. And I'm going to pick a nicer name than coronavirus. I might do, especially for all of you, Spring 2020 art photo might work. So I'm going to pick a place to save it. I have this external hard drive here that I like to use. And again, part of the reason that I like to use that is if you switch to a new computer, if you move a catalog, you kind of will have to go into Lightroom and kind of re-explain to it where you've moved all the files around to. So I like just setting up Lightroom on an external hard drive that is just move ready. So I'm going to hit create, and it will close the catalog that I currently have open. All right, so that part was pretty simple. A few quick things about Lightroom. I can see which catalog I have open because of what's displaying in the top here of my workspace. I can see for sure this is my Spring 2020 artphoto.lrcat, so Lightroom catalog file. You can see I have a left panel here, which is primarily going to help me find images, either that are going to be imported or that are already in my catalog. And then I have modules tabs here. So the library module is what we'll be working from mostly in this video. You can choose from other modules over here. One of the reasons Lightroom is great is because it allows you to quickly edit a lot of photos at one time. It's also a raw processor, which means you can import raw files, and it supports a non-destructive workflow. And a short version of what that means is any edits you do on an image can be undone. So you're not degrading your image quality by editing and saving and editing and saving. To fully set this up, you'll want to import files and organize them a specific way. And again, this is just how I do it. To import, you're going to go over to this left-hand panel and hit import. So it's good to already have files ready to go. Honestly, they can be just personal photos. This is really just so you can set things up nicely. I'm going to start by selecting a source, and I'm going to navigate down. Might be faster just to go to my desktop here. I'm going to navigate down. I'm going to uncheck include subfolders. I'm going to find Very M, desktop, and I'm going to select the folder here labeled Iceland imports. So this is just what I have ready to go. All of the images look like they're there. You can see that by these little check boxes here that Lightroom is saying, yes, I'm ready to import these. I could click this button to uncheck all of them and only select a few to import, or I could just hit check all. And that's what I'm gonna do here. So on this left side, I can see where I'm pulling the images from. In the middle here, you have the option to copy as DNG, copy, move, or add. The best way to have a non-destructive workflow and to have nice, completely raw or unedited versions of all of your image is to select copy as DNG. So make sure that's what's highlighted here. The next and possibly most important thing is where you're going to send these images to. So when you copy as DNG, you're basically saving, you're basically using Lightroom to organize all your files. That's actually how I use it. So we're gonna create basically a capture archive or an archive of all the photos you shot here through Lightroom. So I'm gonna check this down, and it's defaulting as it normally does to send all of my images to the pictures folder. That's not a great idea for me, especially because that means I'm separating my catalog from where I'm sending these images to. So Lightroom needs not only your catalog, but also these images that are kind of tethered to the catalog. So if I send images onto my computer's hard drive and then my catalog onto my other hard drive, my external hard drive, they need to be linked in order for the catalog to work at all. So that's a long way of saying I'm going to select other destination. So here I'll navigate to my external hard drive. You can see just by creating a catalog, I have a Spring 2020 art photo folder. I didn't make this before starting the video, Lightroom generated it. So here you can see I've got a bunch of kind of shadow files, but the big one here is this Spring 2020 art photo Lightroom catalog file. I'm gonna hit new folder and I'm gonna name it Capture Archive and hit create and choose. This is a big important stage of the process, making sure that your catalog and your capture archive are in the same folder is really helpful. In terms of file handling, what I would recommend you choose is just a standard preview. Check don't import suspected duplicates. Later on when we talk about organizing, you can choose to organize images immediately into a catalog. We'll talk about that in a future video. You can also just have it always rename files. So if you like the idea of Lightroom just automatically renaming all of your images as they're imported, I'm gonna go first to template, then down to edit. And I'm just going to say, I'm gonna name all files with my last name first. Then I can add other extensions. So it could be the file name, it could be the import number, it could be the image number, and how about I just insert, you know what, I'll insert date. How about year, month, date. It's a nice format. So other things, you could have develop settings that you apply to something immediately. All of this other stuff is optional. So at this point, I'm going to select import.